Sadie grew up in a harsh environment and learned to hunt animals and ride horses in her youth. In September 1896, she became married to Jake Adler. The couple lived on a ranch in the state of Ambarino, where they shared the work evenly between them and had a happy marriage. Mere days before the game's opening, their house was robbed by the O'Driscoll boys, who killed Jake. Sadie hid in the cellar for days in order to avoid the same fate. Sadie was happily married to her husband, Jake Adler, and expresses that she was content in the life they lived together. His death made her deeply vengeful, vindictive, and consumed by desire for revenge against the O'Driscolls. Sadie also repeatedly demonstrates cruelty, a lack of care for her allies, and recklessness, which rivals that of Micah's. She is not above putting herself and her friends in unnecessary danger, which is exemplified in the battle against the O'Driscolls in Shady Belle, where she does not cooperate with the rest of the gang, forcing Arthur to leave the house and risk getting killed, and murdering the O'Driscoll hostages at Column's execution, starting a firefight. Her actions also indirectly led to Arturo Bullard's death, something Arthur had blamed her for. Sadie's personal interests could explain her own extreme aggressiveness and brutality. Thus, she saw her crusade against the O'Driscolls as more than simply ending a gang feud or hostility between the two gang leaders. Despite this, Sadie is also very loyal to those she cares about. She is extremely eager to prove to Arthur and Dutch that she can be a fighting member. This is evident when she zealously asks Arthur if they should rob the general store in Rhodes, asks Dutch if he can take her robbing, and leads the counterattack against the O'Driscolls at Shady Belle. She later helps to unite and relocate the gang, fend off the Pinkertons in Lacaille, rescue John from prison, and keeping the gang together while some of the main members are in Guarma. While initially being fairly shy, Sadie would eventually become more confident, defying Dutch's orders not to rescue John, and not being afraid to challenge other members of the gang. She also has a softer side for Arthur, and holds him in high regard, even admitting that he's the only one in the gang who she truly trusts and is the best man she has known, second only to her husband. Her concern for Arthur is also exemplified when she insists on taking up physically demanding tasks by herself, including rowing a boat from Sisika Penitentiary and running and gunning to rescue Abigail, preventing Arthur from doing the same despite his protests. At Beaver Hollow, she also reminds Arthur to take care of himself in camp conversations. Notably, as a widow, Sadie willingly promises Arthur that she will help John, Abigail, and Jack to start a family life, one that she has lost since her husband's death. By 1907, some of Sadie's vengeful hatred and recklessness subsided. She appears much calmer when speaking to John, with whom she has maintained a good relationship. She even offers some bounty hunting jobs to help him pay back his mortgage for Beecher's Hope. However, Sadie still retains a streak of brutality and a no-nonsense attitude while dealing with criminals, and she unbendingly desired vengeance against Micah, to the point where she was prepared to put her life on the line for revenge. During a job, Sadie confesses to John that she had developed a slight death wish over time. Sadie's revenge on both the O'Driscoll boys and Micah contradicts the Van der Linde gang's mantra that revenge is a fool's game. However, unlike the other gang members who defy this philosophy, such as Dutch, Micah, and John, this does not lead to her downfall. Sadie succeeds in getting her revenge both times and survives afterwards. Out of all the living, non-villainous characters, Sadie is the only one not to seek redemption. She starts out innocent but becomes an outlaw, with a somewhat vengeful and nihilistic personality. Sadie brushes off criticism regarding her tendency to endanger others, which is an ironic parallel to the late-game Dutch Van der Linde, whose own actions endangered the gang, that he was quick to justify. The helping relationship between Sadie and Abigail undergoes a role reversal as the game progresses. Initially, Abigail provides help by comforting Sadie, who is in mourning as her husband recently died. Later, however, Sadie provides help to Abigail by breaking John out of prison, helping her reunite with Jack under the assumption that John has died. In the epilogue, Sadie further helps Abigail by assisting John to start a stable family life, allowing John to marry Abigail. In 1907, Sadie obtains a horse she names Hera. Hera was the Greek goddess who protected married women, wedding and marital loyalty, traits found in Sadie herself. She too fulfills the role of protector by helping Abigail and her husband John. Sadie uses a custom cattleman revolver, fully silver-plated with engravings, and a grip with a light varnish. It bears a resemblance to Flaco's revolver, aside from the grips being different. From Chapter 5 onward, she has two identical aforementioned revolvers. The weapon is ubiquitous in the American West at the time of Red Dead Redemption, and as it is a relatively affordable weapon and can be wielded to deadly effect. By 1911, the cattleman is considered somewhat outdated in comparison to the newer revolver models, but its cheap cost and frequency make it a popular weapon among both criminals and New Austin-based lawmen. As the lowest tier weapon of the revolvers, the cattleman can require up to 2 or 3 shots to the torso in order to kill someone at mid or long range. Due to this, it is wise to aim for the head, which will result in a one-hit kill, or fire each shot a few seconds after each other, allowing for the recoil and accuracy to reset. Due to being the weakest revolver in the game, it makes this gun ideal for bounty hunting since it can't kill an NPC with a shot in each leg. Sadie using these guns shows how great of a gunfighter she really is because she manages to take out enemies with stronger weapons.